G'day, as the title says, this is my beginner's guide to welding. So I'm a beginner, and now I'm going to try to teach you how to weld. I've got a project that I've been thinking about making for a while. I'm basically going to make a box that sits on the exhaust manifold of my Suzuki in the engine bay that has a baking tin inside it that I can put food in and heat it up. So here's a preview of the box that I'm trying to make. First off, I made the bottom half of the box and then I made the lid. So the bottom half of the box was just four sides that were folded together, and then I had to weld the bottom face on. So the bottom face I tack welded on first, and then I properly welded. So when I did the tack welds, I had to make sure that I didn't put too much heat into the material or I would warp the metal. And I also had to make sure that I was in the right spot. So next up, I had to make sure that the tin wasn't touching the bottom of the box or I'd get uneven heat. So the best way to do that was make up a little spacer that would hold the tin up. I put that on with a spot welder. So a spot welder pretty much sends current through one particular spot of material, which heats up the material and fuses the two sections together. So next up, I had to make the lid, and I wanted the lid to overhang on all four sides, so I had to bend them over. So to bend them over, I had to cut out sections or square sections from each corner, and then I had to pretty much fold over the sheets. The side tabs, I guess you'd call them. After I fold the tabs over, I'll have to weld the corners back together to seal the box and also to avoid sharp edges. When I did this though, I found that my measurements were wrong and I had to fill a bit of a gap. And because I was putting too much heat into the box with the welding, I found that I was blowing holes, as you can see here, which basically means that the material's melting and it's just holes are forming. So to get past that, you can use a flat bar piece of copper, because copper doesn't stick to normal welding wire, and you can basically use that to support your welds while you're making them, and just make sure that you use low amounts of heat when you're dealing with thin steel. To dress it up, I cut some corners off the lid, and then I put a handle on it. I then attached the lid to the box via some hinges at the back. Then I got a bit of flat bar, bent it up, and then spot welded it to the lid to stop the tin from rattling around inside. Then I had to whip up a bracket that mated the box to the exhaust. Then I painted the bracket and the box. Then it was done.